Hello friends, welcome to Fab Classes. So today I am here with one of the most requested video which is going to be really very useful for CA intermediate students. So before going into the video and telling what the video is actually about, we all know that CA examinations, it is considered to be one of the most toughest examinations in India. The pass percentage of CA examinations is really very less. We all know that. So if you don't have a proper planning at the time of studying, like how much hours you have to devote daily for studying, when you will complete the studies, will you be able to complete the studies on time, what to study, how much hours for this subject and everything, I'm sure that you won't be able to crack these exams. In short, proper planning is one of the most essential factors throughout the entire CA course. Not only in case of CA course, in other courses also, wherever it is, proper planning is always very important. So today in this video, I am here with a proper and well structured effective study plan for your CA intermediate examinations, which will help you to complete your studies on time, which will give you that confidence, yeah, I can complete this, and which will help you to manage your time effectively and efficiently. So please watch the video till the end so that you can pass out with good marks and can also even secure a rank if you properly implement these steps. I know that the exams are nearer. There are only shortly 4 months, I think, not even 4 months full. So proper planning is very much essential. If we don't plan it from today itself, we can never complete it. I think if we don't have that proper planning, then it's going to be really difficult. We should have in our mind what we are going to do and how we are going to utilize these 4 months. So let's start with the video. So first thing what I have to tell you is, for attempting the examinations and clearing it with good marks, the first thing which you need is proper self-study. Many people are attending coaching classes nowadays and they might be having classes, but 2 months of self-study is really very important. Now we have 4 months for exams. For our exams, there are nearly 4 months remaining. But please be very sure that whatever coaching classes you are taking, whatever classes you are attending, it should end in the month of August. After that, the September and October, 2 months should be entirely devoted to self-study. Self-study is one of the most vital factors which will help you to score better and secure a rank. Till August, you have time for attending the classes, attending the coaching, making the notes, understanding the concepts, whatever it is, everything should end in the month of August. After August, please be very sure that the September and October, the 2 months should be entirely devoted for self-study, because we know that there are 8 papers, 2 groups we have, 4 papers in each group, 8 papers and 12 subjects we have. 2 subjects in one paper, like that 12 subjects we have, and 25 plus textbooks we have, and 1000 plus illustrations, practical questions, everything we have to solve. So 2 months is very much needed for completing studies on time. So 2 months of self-study is really very important. And before that, one thing I have to tell you is, if you are planning to clear both groups in this attempt and is aiming to get good marks in both groups, the first and foremost thing before studying, the most important thing which you have to do is ban your phone while studying. I know it's not possible nowadays because everything is online now. Means the classes are online and we have notes, PDFs, everything is there. I know it's not possible, but make sure that while at the time of self-study, when you are doing the problems or while you are studying something theory, whatever it is, make sure that your phone is off or it is not near you. If you have any doubts in between, if you come across with any doubts, you can write it down. You can note it down anywhere, and once the session is over, your study session is over, you can take your phone and call your friends or search online or whatever it is you can do. And if your notes are in PDF format, then please, while using the phone, make sure that the internet is switched off at least. Please have that with self-control so that you don't feel like messaging friends or visiting social medias and everything while at the time of studying. The best thing is to avoid phone, distance yourself from your phone at the time of studying. During break time, you can use the phones, whatever it is, you can do anything, but while you are doing the problems or while you are sitting for the study session, please be very sure that your phone is not near you. That is only for your betterment, because once you see the phone, you have that tendency to take the phone or message friends, or just like just to check if any messages is there. We just check it out. So please be very sure that your phone is not near you while you are doing your problems and while you are studying. So the first thing is ban your phone. Second thing, 2 months of self-study. And the third thing is study 12 hours daily. Daily 12 hours you have to allot for study. I am talking about the last 2 months only, because till August, as I said, you may have classes, you may have to attend those classes, and in between class timings may be different for everyone, so that problems may arise. But in the 2 months of self-studying, you have to make sure that you study 12 hours daily. Daily 12 hours you have to allot for study. So in these 12 hours, it is not necessary that you have to study continuously for 12 hours in a stretch. It is not possible, because we know there is a limit up to which we can concentrate. So try to break these 12 hours into different slots, different sessions, and use it effectively. So the best timing which I can provide you is wake up earlier, but sit for studying at morning 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock in the morning sharp, you have to sit for study. It's not that difficult, I think, because there are many people who are sitting at morning 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock for studying. So I'm not saying that you have to do that much, but at least try to sit at 6 o'clock if possible, and 6 to 10 the morning session of 4 hours. Morning 6 to 10 o'clock you can have a 4-hour session. So we all know that our brain will be fresh in the morning, and we can utilize these 4 hours very much effectively. So the morning session will be of the 4 hours, 6 to 10. Then you can take a break of 1 hour. You can have your breakfast, chat with your family, chat with your friends, whatever it is, do your refreshments and everything. Complete it in 1 hour, and once again at sharp 11 you can sit for your studies. Sit at sharp 11, and that session should continue for 2 o'clock, up to 2 o'clock. So a 3-hour session. Morning session of 4 hours, and then afternoon 3-hour session. And once you finish your session at 2 o'clock, again you can take a 1-hour break. 2 to 3 you can take a 1-hour break, have your lunch, do whatever you wanted to do in your break time and everything, and again sit at 3 o'clock sharp. From 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the evening, 2 hours session. So in the morning it was 4-hour slot, then in the afternoon it became 3 hours, and then again a 2-hour session in the evening, 3 to 5. And after that, in the evening you can take a long break, means a 2 hours break. 5 to 7 you can have your break and utilize the time for your hobbies, whatever you want. You can watch a movie, you can play something, whatever it is, do it in the 2 hours. And again at 7 o'clock sit for the next session. 7 to 10, 3-hour session in the night also. So daily in total we get 12 hours. 4-hour session in the morning, 3-hour session in the afternoon, 2 hours in the evening, and at night again 3 hours. But the best time which you are going to get, or the effective time in this, will be the morning, and the one which I gave in the night. The morning 6 to 10 will be very much effective, and the night 7 to 10 also will be very much effective, because that is the time when your brain will be concentrating, or brain will be fully onto the studies. And so try to include those subjects which are difficult in that slot, because that time you will be very interested to study, and whatever you study in that time will stick in your mind better than other times. So make sure that that session includes the subjects which is actually difficult for you. So in that way, it is just the example which I gave you. It's just my opinion that you can utilize according to your plannings, or as per your comfortable level. You can alter these timings and include whatever you feel like. But please make sure that you are studying 12 hours daily in the last 12 months, which will give you, there is 12 months means 60 days. 60 days into 12 give 720 hours. You are getting 720 hours for self-studying, which will be very much sufficient. And the next thing, in these 720 hours, or in this 2 months, the last 10 days should be entirely devoted to solving the question papers. It may be past year question papers, mock test papers, FTP, RTP, whatever it is. The last 10 days should be entirely devoted to solving the question papers. It's not like solving one question paper per day. You can have a demo exam, a mock exam in your home itself. Means daily anyway we are going to allot 12 hours for study. So 12, one exam will take 3 hours. So 12 divided by 3 gives, you can attend 4 exams daily. So what you can do in the last 10 days is, you can attend 4 exams daily. One day, one group full, next day group 2, again group 1 exam in the next day. In that way, within 10 days, you can at least have 3 to 4 mock exams in your hand. So we get that practice of writing the exams also. Then you can evaluate yourself, or you can exchange with your friends. If you are a group, then you can exchange your answer sheets with your friend, and your friend can give this, and thus you can do the cross checking and all. So but in the last 10 days you have to attend all the exams, MTP, RTP, previous year question papers and everything. Nowadays many question papers are available in the ICI website also, it is available, and in online also in many websites it is available. But one more thing you have to note down is, while doing the past year question papers, while solving the past year question papers, be very aware of the amendments, because while you are checking the answers, suggested answers in the previous year question papers and all, the amendments will not be included, which is relevant for us. So while checking the question paper, be aware of the amendments and make sure that the answer is correct, keeping in view the amendments. So that thing is important. So overall what we have said is, first thing, ban your phone. Second thing, 2 hours preparation. Third thing, study 12 hours daily. Fourth one, last 10 days for solving the question papers, for attending mock exams. So the next thing is mixing of subjects. That means don't study one subject per day. We know that there are nearly 12 subjects for us to study. So it will be utter nonsense on your side if you devote one day entirely for one subject. Because you think, for example, if you are studying accounts today, then tomorrow law or some other paper, next day another paper, and it will be after 12 days again accounts will come, and by the time it comes, the first thing which we had studied earlier will be gone from our mind. We don't even remember, and we have to study it once again. So one day one subject is utter foolishness. Always try to do mixed subjects. Please make sure that you cover at least 3 subjects per day. 3 subjects you have to cover. For example, as I said, there are 4 sessions we made. In the morning it was 4-hour session, in the afternoon 3-hour, evening 2 hours, and at night we gave 3 hours. So in these sessions, try to include in each session each subject. Try to include one subject in each session, so that in the morning, if somebody may feel that practical is good in morning, solving practical questions in the morning will be great, so that people can devote the morning session to accounts. Well, somebody may feel that while sitting theory subjects, in the morning our brain is fresh, so in that time theory subjects will be good for us to study. If somebody feels that, then they can give that concentration for theory subjects, and once the theory subjects we get bored, we can shift into practical subjects. So always try to have a mixture of both, theory, practical, and try to have at least 3 subjects daily. Try to include in your timetable 3 subjects per day. Don't allot one day full for one subject, it will be foolishness. And the next thing is, we know that in each group, in group 1 and group 2, 2 papers each has MCQs. In case of group 1, corporate and other law, paper 2 and paper 4, direct tax and indirect tax, paper 2 and paper 4, and in group 2, EIS, SM paper and auditing and assurance, 2 papers have MCQ questions of 30 marks. This is a golden chance for us to score the marks, because once if you are thorough with these MCQs, if you have that practice of solving many MCQs, then you can score these 30 marks easily, so that your overall score will increase and your aggregate also will increase. So be thorough with the MCQs. So for being thorough with the MCQs, you have to practice more and more MCQs. You have to do more and more MCQs. Nowadays more questions are available in many apps, sites and everywhere. So take those questions, do those MCQs and practice. So daily 2 hours, in the 12-hour session, daily 2 hours should be allotted for solving MCQs. 1 hour per paper. So one day you can solve two subjects MCQs, the next day another two subjects MCQ, next day once again these two subjects MCQ, and daily devote 2 hours for MCQs. This is one of the most important thing, because once you are comfortable or once you are familiar with the MCQs, it is really very simple for you to score those 30 marks. 30 in 4 subjects, just think of it, 30 into 4, 120 marks. 120 marks you can have it in your hands if you are thorough with the MCQs. Other thing, it depends upon your writing skill, it depends upon your knowledge, everything. But these MCQs, once you are familiar with the questions, once you have that practice of doing all those questions, then you can score it easily. So daily 2 hours MCQs important. And one more thing is, make short notes for each theory subjects. We know that we have tons of things to study. The syllabus of CA or the book is very huge that we cannot study it whole together. It is not possible for us to keep everything in our mind. So whenever you are studying a theory subject, practical question, it's all about equations and everything, and once we are doing a few problems we get on to it. But in case of theory, we have so much to study that it is not possible for us to remember all those things. So while studying theory, please try to make a short note for that theory paper, so that on the previous day of the exams you cannot go through all the book, because it is theory. We have to by heart some words, we have to by heart some words, we have to understand the concept and write some points we have to remember. So everything is not possible. We cannot turn over all the textbook in the previous day of the exam. So what you have to do is, while studying, make sure that you have a short note. You have your own short note, whatever important points you have, whatever words which is very important to remember, whatever tips you have, memory techniques, whatever it is, you have to write in that short note, and in the previous day of the examinations you can refer to that short note and study. Revise, not study, you can revise by referring to that short note. That is also important. And here, make memory techniques, shortcuts and tricks in case of theory subjects. We know that there are many things to study in theory. We have corporate law, other law, auditing, EIS, SM, and many subjects are there. So all the things in our mind we cannot by heart, or we cannot keep it in the mind. So have some memory techniques or some shortcuts or some tricks in your hands, so that you can remember it easily. For example, in case of EIS, there is a topic called cloud computing. So there may be benefits of cloud computing, there are limitations of cloud computing, and many things. So what you have to do is prepare some, if there are 5 points in case of limitations of cloud computing, prepare some memory techniques, taking the first words and making a code or something, some sentence as a code, whatever it is, make some memory techniques so that it will retain in your mind. Create your own timetable. As we said, planning is important, but planning in our mind and writing it in note makes a difference. Once we plan it in our mind, it's not going to be that efficient. But once we prepare our own timetable and write it beautifully or creatively, however it is, as you feel comfortable, in a chart or a paper or somewhere, and if we stick it in our study area, then that would be better than planning it in the mind. Because once you see that goals daily, I have to study today, once you see that in front of you daily, then your tendency to study will be more. So make sure that you have a timetable and you have to stick it always in the study area in front of you. That will help you to concentrate more towards your studies and will increase your increase your tendency to sit for the study session. So you make your timetable. If you are giving this study sessions, as I said, then properly you give that timetable. Daily you can change the timetable. Daily at the night you can plan for the next day. Tomorrow 6 to 4 I am going to study accounts. Tomorrow this is I am going to study. Whatever it is you are going to do tomorrow, previous night you can plan it accordingly and stick it in the notice board or anywhere. And if you want to have your own notice board, as I said, having your own students notice board is very much important, because it helps a lot in our studies. So if any people have any doubts regarding how to make our own notice board, I have already made a video on how to make your own students notice board, so I will give that link in the description. So if anybody feels like making their own notice board, just see the video and you will get a clear idea on how to make a simple notice board at your home. And one more thing, stick to the institute study material. Whatever it is, however it is, make sure that you are thorough with all the questions, all the illustrations and all the practical of the institute study material. If you can see the trend of the last examinations of ICAI, nearly 60 to 70% of the questions are directly from the institute's study material. Following the institute's study material is one of the most important thing which you have to do. You have to be thorough with all the questions of the institute study material, because nearly 70% of the questions are going to be directly from the institute study material, no doubt with that. They may change the name, they may change the values, but the question pattern will be the same as which it is in the institute study material. So please be very sure that you will solve all the illustrations, all the practicals. In case of practical papers, all the illustrations you have solved at least 3 times. You have to solve at least 3 times. There is no compromise with that. Whenever you see a question from your study material, you should be able to know what it is, how to solve. Go through all the questions of the study material. That is very important. Institute's study material, follow it blindly. There is no substitute to the institute study material. You may have your teacher's materials in your hand, that questions in your hand. Okay, do it. If you have time, extra time, you can do it, no problem. Good, it's good to have much knowledge about other questions also, but make sure that you are thorough with the institute study material. Only after that you go for extra questions. So I'll sum up all the things which I have told till now. The first thing was ban your phone. Make sure that your phone is not nearby you when you are studying. And the next thing, 2 months of self-study is really important. And the third thing was last 10 days only allowed for mock exams. And the fourth thing was mixing subject practice. Daily don't study one subject per day. Don't follow that pattern of study. Daily try to include at least 3 or 4 subjects in your timetable. And then allot 2 hours daily for your MCQ sessions, because once you are comfortable with the MCQs, you can score marks easily and betterly, and make your own short note. And the last thing, second last thing which I said was have your own timetable stick on your wall. And the most important thing and the last thing was stick to the institute's study material. There is no substitute for the institute's study material. So my dear friends, if you are planning to get good marks or clear both groups or even to secure a rank, please follow these strategies in your study plan. While making a timetable, make sure that all these tips which I have said is included in that timetable. Once you follow these strategies properly, once you implement these strategies properly, and if you are thorough with all the concepts, then believe me, you are going to crack it and even you can secure a rank. Nothing is impossible. Even the CA exams, yeah, it is difficult, I agree, but it is not impossible. There are many people who pass out with flying colors in CA examination. It's all because of their dedication, determination and hard work. So all the best for your exams. Study well, prepare well. Thank you so much.